Hello everyone, welcome to vlog, welcome to the chaos that is my room. Don't worry about it. I have a little book haul to share with you, so I thought we could start off this vlog with a couple of the summer reads I got for the next couple of months, weeks, whatever, hopefully weeks. I am not, we've talked about this, I'm not built for summer. That will not stop us. The first book I have here is The Odyssey by Homer, whatever, in the Emily Wilson translation. I have heard absolutely nothing but fantastic things about this translation. Obviously, this is the translation I think that Christopher Nolan is going to base his adaptation on. And I feel like ever since this came out, a lot of people have viewed this kind of as the definitive edition for leisure reading, which is what I plan to do with it. It has been praised for like really questioning some of the translation choices people have made in the past. She's also the first woman, I believe, to fully translate the Odyssey and publish it. So yeah, I am just very excited for this. I am going to be very honest and tell you, I've been intimidated by this book for like a very long time. For one, because of the fact that it's written as a poem. I don't know how I feel about that, to be completely honest. But I am very excited, and I kind of feel like this is such a summer book. I've seen it on so many like summer book recommendations lists, and with the movie coming out, I feel like a lot of people in my like online bubble have kind of been reading this, and everyone just talked about how accessible and fun it was. So I decided, you know what? I think the people are probably right. I think this is probably just going to slap, and I really need to get on that. So yeah. Also very excited to read like one of the fundamental texts of Western literature. Despite the fact that I do read quite a bit of classics, I haven't read any of the like fundamentals. Like I haven't read the Odyssey or the Iliad, I haven't read the Aeneid, I haven't read Paradise Lost, I haven't read the Bible. So many of like the very popular and fundamental texts of Western literature I have just been like too intimidated or honestly just not interested by. But yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I hope I'll enjoy this. If I do, I will definitely pick up the Iliad in her translation as well. Okay, and then I have, what's it called? Tender is the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I have read one other book by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I've read The Great Gatsby, obviously. And to be completely honest, I didn't love The Great Gatsby. I thought it was okay, right? Like I didn't think it was terrible, but it didn't really do much for me. To be fair, I did read The Great Gatsby in translation, and like my toxic trait is whenever I don't like a book that was translated, I'm just like, I think the translation was just bad. I think I just didn't like the translation. So yeah, this is one of, I have a friend who really likes this book, and I also recently saw, like, I don't know if it was like on Pinterest or Reddit or something, but I saw like a mood board for this book, and apparently it's just also a very great summer read. It takes place in the French Riviera in the 20s. It's about a young couple, and I think their kind of everyday harmony gets disrupted by an actress or something. I'm very excited to read this because, I mean, first of all, I'm very excited to build out my opinion on F. Scott Fitzgerald. What I know of him as a human being, I'm not impressed by, but I would like to see what I think of him as an author as well. The last book I have in this haul right now is A Spy in the House of Love by Anaïs. I am currently reading this. I just started it, and this is fantastic. So I saw this book recommended in a list on Substack, on like a Substack article that was called Books Where Women Have Good Sex or something like that. I'll leave it linked down below. This was one of the recommendations. I'm pretty sure that's where I heard of it. And it's about a young woman, Sabina. I think like her mission is to have sex like a man. Very Carrie Bradshaw of her. This also takes place in New York. So far, this has not been that. Like she has not had great sex yet, and she also has not had like careless freedom like a man in her situation might have. I think it's a very interesting commentary on gender and how like gender, even if we as women do the exact same thing as something a man does, our perception and our interpretation of it is still going to vary and be different from that of a man just because we have different lived experiences. Also, very interestingly, this character, Sabina, she has anxiety. Like, I'm not sure if anxiety was recognized as a mental disease yet at this point, but it is so interesting. Even if it was an officially recognized illness, I'm sure the societal perception of it was probably very different than it is today. But it's so interesting to see how, like, even though this was a very different time for mental health recognition in general, the symptoms of anxiety are so relatable to somebody, to me, who has an anxiety disorder. And so I think it is so poignant in its description of living with this constant mental torment. I think it is written fantastically. In general, the writing, it is so beautiful. Literally, I woke up this morning and I read a couple of pages, and like literally the first sentence I read was, "Desire made a volcanic island on which they lay in a trance, feeling the subterranean worlds lying beneath them, dance floor and table and the magnetic blues uprooted by desire, the avalanches of the body's tremors." I'm like, okay, good morning to you too, I guess. There's so much like literary merit in this. This is so fantastically written. The amount of things I have, like, look at this page. This book is fantastic. I am in awe of what words can do once again. Oh, this one I think is very like on point about her feelings. So as I said, she's kind of on a quest to have sex like a man. And after she has sex with a man, there was no climax. She's very angry and feverish. Her body will not melt, will not obey her fantasy of freedom. It cheated her of the adventure she had pursued. The fever, the hope, the mirage, the suspended desire unfulfilled would remain with her all night, and the next day burned undimmed within her and make others who saw her say how sensual she is. I think this is so, like, the things that she wants on like a very objective or like calculated level, like this fantasy of freedom that she has, and the things that she's able to actually achieve are so like separate. And so she, like, every time it doesn't work out how she fantasizes it would, she feels like betrayed by herself and by her own betrayal. She has a husband who, as far as I can tell, is very loving and adoring, and she describes him as being very loving and adoring, and she has a lot of guilt about cheating on him. And I think that's just so interesting, because I feel like men that pursue meaningless sexual relations outside of their relationships don't really feel guilt about it, right? Like it just like that feels like a right to them, a rite of passage. Whereas Sabina is so consumed by the guilt and like feeling, she wishes her husband was enough and there was enough like desire and adventure in her relationship to satiate her, but there just isn't. Okay, anyways, I'm having a fantastic time. As you can, this is obviously a very short book, but I'm reading it so slowly because I have to annotate it so heavily. But yeah, I will probably be finishing this up this weekend. I also do have another book coming in the mail, hopefully today. It was supposed to arrive yesterday and it didn't, and I was very upset about it. But I have another book supposedly arriving today, so when it does, I'll show you. And more excitedly, I'm so happy. We are today chopping off my hair. People, it is time. My hair is officially long enough to donate. Thank God. The last few weeks, like with the heat wave, and then I was staying over at my boyfriend's house, I was going insane with my hair. There's hair everywhere. I cannot breathe. I cannot lay down. I cannot touch myself. Everywhere there's just hair. I need it gone. So we're chopping it all off today. I have a friend coming over in a bit who's gonna do that for me, because she's a hairdresser. Thank you so much, Svenja. Shout out. And I'm gonna look insane. Actually, I don't know if that's true. But honestly, even if I look terrible, it'll be such a relief to be rid of this hair. And my hair also grows back so quickly. It'll be fine. That's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it, you know. But for right now, I'm just so excited to not have this much hair anymore. It'll be gone. I'll be free. So I'm gonna show you that once it happens. I'm pretty sure Svenja is still asleep. So I'll show you the book. I'll show you the hair. I have a little bit of stuff to do for uni. Me and my roommate yesterday bought a new chair for our balcony because we finally like took care of our balcony. So maybe I'll sit outside in our new rocking chair. I'll have a fantastic day. Today's gonna be a great day, I can already tell. I will see you once I'm chopping all of this down. I'm so excited.
Crazy bets on me. Back mid scroll, Armageddon arcane. Walking the wild. Don't know why. Cosplay cowgirls and numberless chats. We're feeling just fine in our rounding hats. Walking the wild.
Das ist so crazy. Ja. Erstes Stück ist an. Oh, es ist geil. Oh, ich bin so frei. Immediately, ich bin so frei. Ja, können wir lassen, oder? Ja, hot. Okay, so this is what the hair is looking like. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really feel like I look different. Like, even though, I mean, you can see it's very short, but I feel like I look exactly the same as before. So I definitely I already think I want it shorter. I was kind of already thinking it, like before I was cutting it, but then I was just like, I don't know, it's a lot of commitment, and like, most of the people I talked to, like I showed them my inspo pictures and most of them said I should go for the longer version, which just like further proves to myself that I just know what's best always and I shouldn't listen to people, but alas. So yeah, I think it's cute, but I feel like the bangs are too long. I already shortened them this morning. Actually yesterday they were like very, very long and I feel like it looked a little bit too bowl cutty for me. I feel like this is already better. I'm honestly thinking I'm gonna cut them even shorter. I also have realized I have very straight hair. This is something I have been aware of, and I just feel like it looks very, like on the sides especially, I think like it is intentional that they're longer because I do want to like tuck them behind my ears, but even tucked behind the ears I feel like it just looks like very flat and boring, and I feel like if it was just like shorter it would look more dynamic. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit with this for a couple of days. I do have to say I think the glasses look fantastic with the short hair. I always feel these glasses, they're a crowd favorite. The people love these glasses, but I just always felt like when I was wearing them I was kind of like getting lost in them a little bit with like the long hair as well. I feel like they look a lot better with shorter hair. So yeah, anyways, we're on the balcony and I wanted to share a sort of revelation I've had about my reading slump. If you've been here for a couple of weeks, you have heard about them before. Yes, my reading slump is non-binary, and I just had a revelation about that I wanted to share. So I was in my boyfriend's place this past weekend, and on Monday I was on the train back to my university town and I wanted to read a book, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna pick? And contrary to like popular reading slump advice, I decided to pick up a semi-boring non-fiction book. I'm currently kind of reading The Border by Erika Fatland, and I kind of started this as like my going to sleep and waking up book. Like sometimes when I wake up in the morning I don't want to get out of bed immediately and I don't want to be on my phone, so I just need like something casual to read. So this has been like kind of my go-to casual book for the last few weeks, and just decided to read that, and I was able to sit there on the train and read that for an hour straight without interruptions. I cannot tell you the last time I sat for an hour and read a fiction book, like just straight through. It was kind of incredible. And I think that made me realize something, because I had also on that weekend started to read On a Quiet Street. Seraphina something, I believe the author's name is. I'll put it on the screen. And this is a thriller, because I feel like every time you like look up advice for a reading slump, people always say, oh, read something fast-paced, like try reading a thriller. Thrillers are so great for getting you out of a reading slump. And conceptually I agree, but as I was reading that one, I was just like so stressed out, because thrillers are stressful, right? So I was just stressed and like mildly annoyed the entire time. Whereas when I was reading my very boring book, I was like, this is easy. I could do this 4 hours. And then I realized maybe like my issue isn't with the like fiction that I'm reading, like as in I'm picking the wrong books, but more so with just like me feeling too overstimulated to like properly let myself sink into a story and like bite into that. I feel like with books that I read more casually, that I have like almost less emotional stakes in, I have a easier time reading them casually. And I love like being invested in a book and being like super pulled into a series or whatever, but that's just not always headspace wise where I can be. So yeah, I just thought it was very interesting that I was able to really easily go through that nonfiction. And also with like this A Spy in a House of Love, yes, that's what it's called, I feel like I'm reading this very slowly. With books like these that I'm annotating, I'm reading this at like 20 pages an hour. But even that feels a lot more relaxed, and like there's no pressure on it, because I just don't feel super emotionally invested in the characters. Like this is something that I read more for like the writing and the character study, and less so because I want to like be close to the plot and the characters, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm not actually sure what I'm going to do with this newfound insight, but I just thought I'd share, you know, in case someone out there feels similarly. Yeah, in general, I just have found myself feeling so overstimulated these last few weeks because of the heat, and uni is very stressful. And so I think maybe I'm just not at a point right now where I can escape into a fiction book that also makes me feel anxious or stressed or like overly invested in something, because that's just the emotions I'm already feeling in my real life, you know? Okay, I just wanted to come on here and give you my review of A Spy in a House of Love by Anaïs. I finished this and I've had a couple of days to ponder and to think. And what I think is this book is great. Actually, I don't feel like I have too much else to say. I feel like my first and second impressions that I've already shared in the vlog were just very much confirmed throughout the rest of the novel. I wrote here, like as the main theme in the beginning of the book, this book is for a woman who is scared, good, and normal will never be enough. And I think that is like truly the essence of this book. It is about this woman who like lives a very on paper good life, who should be happy with what she's given, and who, when she challenges that happiness, is ultimately not able to find anything greater than it, but she still feels this need to keep challenging the life that she has and keep challenging the happiness that she's found, because she feels that there cannot be all, that there has to be more the world has in store for her. I think that's a very relatable feeling, at least it is to me. I think all the time about all the lives I have not yet lived and all the people I have not yet met, and whether I'm making the right decisions, and whether where I'm currently is where I want to be. And I think that like state of mind is really captured in this novel. And while I don't think this is a novel about a woman who has good sex, I do think that the concept of a woman in this time, like this takes, I think this was published in the late 50s or early 60s. Let me double check. 54, so 50s. I think to publish a novel like this in the 50s and like the height of the nuclear family propaganda of like the idea that the marriage is such a sacred institution, to publish a book like this where the marriage is good, there's nothing wrong with the marriage inherently, it's just not enough, it's just not what the protagonist ultimately wanted for herself. And I think that is such a like interesting picture to paint of the culture of the time. And I think Anaïs did a good job with that. You're not supposed to like Sabina, I think, but I do think she was such a good character. Like, even though the book is so short, I feel like you really get to know Sabina and who she is and what she's motivated by and why she chooses to do the things she does. And I just think this was such a poignant depiction, and that the author was really, she executed what I believe was the intention of the novel so well. And I just really, really enjoyed this. I had a fantastic time. I ended up rating this a 4.5 stars. Just didn't give me that 5-star feel, but I do recommend this one if you haven't read anything by this author. I'm definitely going to check out her bibliography and see what else speaks to me. And I'm just very glad I read this. And I think that it's just about the inner world of this character and how she perceives herself in relation to the society that she lives in, you know? Yeah, anyways, if you have not read this, I think you should pick it up. I think you should add it to your TBR. It was a very quick read, and as I already mentioned, so much literary merit. All my pages look like this. It's insane. Yeah, and actually, that is it for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for coming along on this journey that we've had, on this little reading journey. I hope you're all having a better reading summer than I am. And I would like to know, what are you currently reading? Have you already had a favorite book this summer? Do you have any recommendations by Anaïs? Definitely let me know down below. And I will see you all in my next video, which, if it kills me, is going to be the quarterly wrap-up for Q2, okay? I promise. I will see you all then. And until then, I hope you have a good time. Bye!